Hey, just want to do a quick live stream, see how everyone's doing. I thought I would, just pop on and so just wanted to find out if anything's going on with anyone. I don't know if anybody's going to end up uh, seeing this or not. So here's hoping. And let's see here. Let's see if I can find it on my page. There we go. Here we go. Now I'm going to open it. There we go. Now I found it on my page and I'm going to tweet it out just to make sure that people get the message that I'm on. So let's see here now. Okay, Bird of Prey, I know you're not here. That's good to know. And there is the link. If anyone wants to join, you are more than welcome to. Um, so let's see here. I need to go back to StreamYard page, make sure. All right, good. Nobody's waiting. I don't want to leave anybody waiting to join, so that's a good thing. Since Bird of Prey's not here, I'm going to ask how he is anyhow, because why not? So, I had, as the title says, I'm keeping a promise. I made a promise to Aberjam and a couple other people that I would have a live stream before, and this was before saying something stupid on Bird's live stream. So, and Bird, speaking of which, I do need to talk to you sometime, not in a stream, please. You're working on your LDS video. Then I won't ask you your score. I'm looking forward to seeing your video. I'm sure I'll disagree with it, but hey, that's what friends are for. I'm sure there are others that I no longer subscribe to that would probably give it an even higher rating than you will. And Aberjam is back here. Let's see here. Hey, Aberjam, what's going on?
Greetings and salutations, Kepler and Joel Untrue. How are we doing, sir?
Well, as I said, I promised you before I would do a live stream. So how have you been?
It's been a shitty couple of days. The diverticulitis has been knocking me up and down and left and right and to and fro, back to front.
Yep.
But better today. I took a couple of painkillers, took some antibiotics, and so far so good.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
And good evening to you, Yitzy.
Hello,
So
Jitsi.
what is going on? Yeah, I'm looking forward to Bird's video on LDS.
LDS.
Yes, Lower Decks. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, I watched the latest episode today.
Uh-huh.
The first 3 episodes they were terrible, just awful, full of agenda pushing and all the rest of it. And then we get to episode 4, which was Moist Vessel, I think.
Oh, yes.
The one that Anti-Checker says felt more like a TNG episode. I don't know if I agree with that. The premise felt more like a TNG episode premise, but the actual episode itself didn't feel very TNG-ish. But I will say, to its credit, it made me chuckle twice, literally twice. And
Well,
the
that's
rest of
good.
the rest of it was unfunny but inoffensive, at least. So in that respect, it's improved slightly. Although this week for me, it took a step back. It didn't make me chuckle at all. Again, just inoffensive. It was I kind of get the impression that the producers and writers, Chris, I forget the guy's name, Chris something or other, that worked on like 3 episodes of Rick and Morty. I kind of get the impression that he overcharged the first few episodes with, SJW politic propaganda to try and, rope in the intended audience.
Oh, yes.
That Kurtzman wants, but I think we're probably going to find, by the looks of it, as the series goes on, he's going to be dialing back on that and trying to sort of honor Star Trek a bit better. So I don't think we'll be seeing much more of this. I mean, if you look hard enough, you can find it. I mean, this week's episode, it was still kind of, the girls at the end of the episode, the girls basically are the saviors of the day. I mean, it's not a huge deal. They're just kind of like trying to figure things out for Boimler. But at the end of the day, Boimler still walks away without a girlfriend, and the 2 girls come away looking like they, the bestest ever.
Oh, yes.
But it's more subtle this week, and it was more subtle last week as well. I mean, they gave the commander dude, the male white commander dude, his moment in the sun last week when he fought against that beastie.
Mm-hmm.
That was episode 3. He did the old Kirk fight with his shirt off, so that was okay. But the rest of that episode was just pure politics. But generally speaking, it's still really the girls that keep getting the upper hand in these situations. They're becoming a little bit more nuanced. It was nice to see Mariner this week was kind of in the situation of she's getting it wrong. Is she getting it wrong? I think she's getting it wrong. She's probably getting it wrong. But even if you're left questioning it, you know that still gives you some meat to chew on, rather than just here I am, I'm kicking ass. Everything I do is great. Nothing I do is wrong. So there was a little more grey area with her this week.
Yeah, I'd agree with that at least. Yeah, I saw it, and I'm going, this is unimpressive.
It's just not landing with me. If inoffensive is the best you can say about it, it's not doing particularly well. Sure, it looks Star Trek-y. Sure, they got the TNG outfits, but nothing about it really feels that Star Trek.
No.
It feels just more like a generic sci-fi comedy cartoon, really.
Yeah.
I mean, you could quite easily switch out the uniforms and the names of the ships and the names of the aliens, and it would just be generic sci-fi cartoon.
Or you could modify the look slightly, make it more Orville looking, and boom, you got an Orville series. And I think it would have worked better, quite honestly.
Yeah, if you change the Star Trek motif to an Orville motif, and then you brought in a different writer who could write comedy.
Yeah, someone who actually knows comedy. Yeah.
Which was, that's basically, we're just talking about a whole different cartoon at that point, really. But yeah, I mean,
it feels like the kids on a playground telling jokes, and somebody's there writing them down because the kids think they sound funny. They just don't land.
no, they don't. Good point by DDJ. Sounds more like the awful than the awful.
And greetings, mountains. How are you this evening?
It's not written by a woman, Tiki. It's written by a guy who was on the Rick and Morty writing staff for like half of a season. Whether there are other female writers involved, I'm sure, but I know the lead writer is an ex Rick and Morty writer by the name of Chris something. I can't remember his second name. Nelson, or is it something like that? But yeah, I don't think at this point it's going to get worse. I think it's, we're getting close to midway through the season, I would assume. I'm guessing it's like 10, 11, 12 episodes ish. So we're sort of getting to that midpoint of the season, and I think this is the point where it's kind of found its footing, where it's going to be kind of inoffensive to Trek fans, but not particularly funny.
No.
I mean, that's funny is subjective, obviously, but
true.
The humor seems to be aimed a lot more towards the younger end of the spectrum, and I'm in my mid-40s, so it doesn't really land with me. And that's okay. Not every Star Trek has to be every Star Trek fan, but it should at least respect, although even if it's parody, there still be some, respect there. And for me, as long as it's not using Star Trek as a political platform or an agenda-pushing platform, then that'll be me. And at this point, I think it stopped doing that pretty much, and it's just kind of.
I'm hoping it does, because this is. I'm sorry, it's not the place for it. Yes, they've done things in Star Trek before, but those were by writers who actually know what subtle means.
Yeah.
If you go back and look at some of the episodes where they were really delving into deep issues, it was, well, like in the original series, you had the half black, half white, one on the right side, one on the left side, and it was, that was a racial thing, but it wasn't quite in your face as preachy.
Right. It's again. I mean, no series is perfect. You're always going to get a little bias seeping through here and there, but generally speaking, Star Trek has it's best to be, neutral and not preachy. And generally speaking, there might be the odd exception here and there, but generally speaking, Star Trek tends to explore both sides of any issue or topic, and leaves the reader to, the viewer to make up their own mind on the pros and cons of each side of the coin. Now, obviously, there are going to be sometimes where an issue for the vast majority of people is going to be pretty black and white, like if you've got a murderer on the loose, if he's just a plain old bloody murderer, I don't think anybody needs telling that bloody murder is bad. Right.
No, I don't think that needs to be, really pointed out. Go, bad, murder, bad. Yeah.
Exactly. But generally speaking, Trek is good at nuance for for issues that have two or more viewpoints attached to them. One of the things that irks me about Lower Decks, and this might be me being old, but the verbal diarrhea, never seem to stop and just take a breath when they're talking. It's just constantly.
Yeah.
Use a period for once in a blue moon, will you? Just stop and take a freaking breath. And I see a lot of that on some of these more modern YouTube channels. Phil DeFranco is terrible. It's just as soon as there comes a point where he's taking a breath, he just cuts it. So the whole 20-minute, when he does a video of all the latest news and whatnot, the entire 20 minutes just doesn't stop. It's just him talking literally non-stop, no breaks, no breathing spots. And Lower Decks has this same kind of thing. where they just, I mean, there's breaks between one person talking and the next person talking, but when any one person is talking, they never pause for effect or stop
Oh,
or, give you time to digest the moment and live in the moment, and when that's missing, it gives less gravitas to any story. And when a story has no gravitas, you have less incentive to invest in it emotionally,
yeah.
and it just sort of becomes boring. If you've got no emotional investment, then it's just boring to you. So even though it's comedy, I get it, it's slapstick. You still do that with those moments of gravitas and those pauses for thought. Rick and Morty, prime example. That's what they're trying to emulate in part. Rick and Morty has those moments that allow you to stop and think and soak up the situation.
Having never seen the show, I can't speak to that. So I don't know about Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
However, yes, having seen this, um, I will say for this episode, I didn't find it as quite as offensive. Although the and yes, I don't give a rip about spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, don't listen. Um, but when they were trying to get those new whatever devices they're called.
T-88s, I think they were called. I kept thinking Terminator. Every time they mentioned it, I thought that's just like a Terminator robot.
Hey, Sir of Spade Sam. But yeah, it was just like, okay, so they ended up each getting one. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So you go on, you take them back to the ship, you scan them, and you replicate them. What do they
Yeah,
do? Oh no, they each grab several.
a bag full.
So
So they come back
yeah,
with two
they
bags. Basically, the what is it? It's not the Vancouver, is it? It was a Canadian. The ship was named after a Canadian. It might be the Vancouver. I'm not sure. But basically, they come back with all the brand new scanners off that ship, and it'll probably be left no scanners of its own.
yeah. It's like, okay, we'll just come back with all of them. Yeah, let's. Oh, yeah. Forget that. This would be theft. Well, now we won't bring anybody up on charges, of course, because that would be realistic.
Well, technically speaking, it's generally said that there's no money, at least in Starfleet. It's all everything's free. Obviously, they need currency to trade with other civilizations and cultures that still use money. But I think most people accept within Starfleet, there's really no trade.
Yeah.
So theoretically, because everything, really. But yeah, team need another to there, and we're supposed to be liking characters, not seeing them brand.
Oh,
But yeah, I think there's potential for the show to improve, and maybe towards the end they'll really find his footing and shake off the entire Kurtzman thing. But I'm from what I see so far, I'm pretty convinced that he front loaded the whole thing with Kurtzman's favorite ideological platform pushing nonsense just to kind of get Kurtzman off his back and to appeal to the modern generation, shall we say, the current generation. But as
yeah,
time has gone on, he shed that off, and he's getting more close to what he initially wants to do, which is just a decent Star Trek comedy. Whether he'll actually find his footing with the comedy is a different matter, but I think he's at this point pretty much shed off all of the nonsense, which is at least
and,
good to see that.
and quite honestly, if they had started off the series with this, I think it would have come across much better than
how they started off with the first episodes, which really
Yeah, I
sucked.
agree. Well, it would for us as the old school Trekkies, for the PC culture loving younguns. He probably started off on the right foot, and they'll probably start getting bored towards the middle of the series because it's not pushing their agenda for them anymore. But I think he's the guy writing it. I think is in a difficult position where he's got to keep Kurtzman happy. He's got to try and keep this this kind of air of political correctness a little bit with Star Trek, but the fact that it's parody and it's aimed at a more mature audience gives him a little bit more wiggle room.
Yeah.
So he's had to tread a bit of a fine line there with the agenda pushing.
I do want to say I'm sorry. I haven't been, I've been looking at the chat. I haven't been responding. Hello, Josh Street and Rambling Canuck.
Rambling Canuck. How you doing, matey? You all right? Enjoying some moose steak? Cut up its antlers, wipe its ass, and roll it over, eh? Like my moose steak, nice and rare, eh? We'll see. We'll see.
I don't.
One show I can recommend if you want a well-written sci-fi cartoon show which has elements of both comedy and drama. Final Face. There's 2 seasons of it currently on Netflix. It's a little bit of a slow burn. I watched the first episode or 2 and then left it for a good long while and then eventually went back to it after a few months. And then I hit about episode 4. I mean, it wasn't bad. It just didn't fully engage me at the time I first started watching it. But when I went back, I kind of got to episode 4. It got its hooks in. And it's a really, really well written show. It has some actual gravity to the situations. You get really invested in characters. It pulls some punches that you're not expecting. And it has some genuine heartwarming moments as well. It's got a good mixture of comedy and drama. It's a very well written show.
Hey, Dave Bob, and hello again, Mountains of Elysium, and Rambling Canuck. Sorry to keep you waiting. What is going on today?
Not much, and I prefer moose jerky actually.
Well, what you do to the
but I don't get that anymore because I'm not in Ontario and I don't go fishing with my buddy whose dad's a trapper, so I don't get that shit anymore. Damn it! And that jerky you buy in the store sucks. Just saying. Store-bought jerky sucks.
Oh yes, it's full of chemicals and yuck.
I've tried several different types of jerky and it's never appealed to me.
Oh, if you get the actual fresh stuff that's actually made on a smoker or it's way better. One, it isn't dry as fuck, and the other one is moose pepperoni sticks. Those are awesome.
I do like some pepperoni.
Oh, if you get basically it's a 50-50 mix. So pepperoni and moose meat, 50-50 split. Oh, that is beautiful. Not so much with deer. Deer, it's more sausage, and that's pork and deer.
Yeah.
So it's usually a 70-30 mix or a 60-30, depending on your tastes. Like if you're going for someone who doesn't like a game taste, then you're going to 60-40 split. If you prefer a little bit of a game taste, then you're going to 70-30 split.
Yeah. And I prefer the 70-30 personally. That's just me.
Yeah, that's what we always did when I used to hunt. It used to be a 70-30 split.
As long as it comes off animal, I'm happy. Or
For some reason, you're breaking up. I don't know what's going on. Everjam.
Technology, that's what.
Huh? Would you mind putting that show you watched in the chat, please? Backstage, if you can. That way I can look it up. So, Rambling, have you gotten a chance to watch Lower Decks yet?
No. I just put the finishing touches on the video for tomorrow morning, yesterday, and I'm just waking up now. So the R&R is set to release, so we're good. And then tomorrow night is my typical recording for, well, you know that. So I think I'm putting it off till then. It should. It's on schedule. So I've got R&R done. I record, and it'll actually work out good because my recording sessions are going to get really long because tomorrow night I'm hoping to meet up with you and Vance at midnight, and then we'll do both Lower Decks and that other show. We'll do. I got to remember whether it's TOS or TNG. I think it's TOS this week, and then instead of an Enterprise, we're going to do that other show that we thought to do as the break between Enterprise and Enterprise Season 1 and Enterprise Season 2. We were supposed to do last week, but I've just been too busy with the new channel launch. Yeah, so hopefully tomorrow night we'll get that, and then Saturday morning I record with Doom. So for the second episode that I get to edit over a week. So yeah, it's starting, everything's starting, and then the normal recording days for Doom will be Monday. So everything should be back on track now.
Well,
Yay!
Well, maybe
I'm just gonna go gray in the editing room. That's all.
either that or bald.
I'll pull out my hair.
Okay, we lost Aberjam. Let me.
And to answer Dave Bob, Canadian back bacon is awesome.
Oh yes. Hey, Cade, what's going on?
I want my baby back ribs. I want my baby back ribs. You know where that was
Good
from?
line. Yep, Austin Powers.
That was
Fat
for
bastard.
reference to a Chili's commercial, right?
Yeah, fat bastard. That's what I think of when I hear that one.
I actually am Scottish.
Well, I'm Scott Irish, so I hate myself.
I mean, I'm also Scott Irish.
Yeah. You see, you're probably one of the few that I can say that joke to, and they'll understand it. I'm Scott Irish, which means I hate myself. The Scottish and the Irish don't get along most of the time.
I hate myself too. That explains everything.
That would explain everything.
Or as the Irish joke goes, we gave them a kilt and a bagpipe, and they still don't get the joke.
Well, I'm glad
are
you
you
tried
Scottish,
Aberjam.
Captain? Or Irish?
I'm a mix. I do have different. Yeah.
Well, are you Welsh? I think I might be Welsh.
It's just yeah. I've also got. Let's see here. 1/16th, I think. American Indian. I don't remember.
Oh, you're native?
Not legally, but yeah.
He's a Heinz 57.
Yes, I am, and quite proud of it. Yes, and Aberjam, I am looking that show up, Vital Space. I'm going to definitely watch it. I need something to watch. Take my mind off that Lower Decks garbage.
Oh, yeah, it was all right.
Well, it was.
I mean, at least it didn't screw up canon like Discovery.
Okay, I'll agree with you there. To me, I would rather be watching paint dry, or at least painting while it's going on, and then going, "Oh, hey, I can watch the paint dry." That'll be entertaining.
I mean, the Klingons actually look like Klingons, so at
Well,
least
okay,
someone's listening.
I'll give them that. I'll give them that on that one. You're right. The Klingons look like Klingons, and
Right, Starfleet looks like Starfleet.
They just don't act like Starfleet. That's the only problem.
I don't
Another
know. They're still closer to Starfleet than what we saw in Discovery.
Yeah. Well, I
mean,
mean,
so far-
that's not saying much. That's like
so far
saying,
the-
you know,
I mean, so
Spaceballs
far-
is closer to Star Wars than we've ever seen before. I mean, that's not saying much.
well, see, here
Like,
is
so far, the captain hasn't turned out to be a twist villain. That'll be season 2.
here's what Discovery was. Discovery was a pile of diarrhea. In Picard, they put the shit on a plate. Now they're putting the shit in a pie pan and covering it with whipped cream. It's still shit, but it looks prettier.
I haven't seen the last 2 episodes. I get to do that tomorrow night
What if
with
I-
you guys, so you'll
Well,
get
what
to
if
see
I
my
told-
first reaction.
What if I told you that the shit is getting smaller and smaller?
See, I'm the odd one of the group, and I liked Picard. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but it was still better than Discovery, which again is not a good metric.
No,
But
I mean, to be fair, even though they reuse Discovery shuttles, they actually look better as in the 24th century than the 23rd century.
yeah, well, that's because the shuttles in Discovery and Enterprise
they
having
never-
1,000 of them doesn't make any damn sense. But you know, whatever.
I just don't. Well, I don't consider Discovery canon in the first place.
And until the ownership of Star Trek changes, it is canon. As much as it pains me to say that. Once it's purchased, the new owner can say whatever the hell they want. So what has been going on with the new channel, Canuck?
Well, we on Wednesday I dropped the welcome video, so it was just me and Admiral Doom saying hello.
Mhm.
And then tomorrow morning at 6:45 a.m., the official first video will drop. Topics are going to be broken down into 2 or 3 or 4 videos as needed.
Mhm.
So like tomorrow's video is all of the pre-battle information. And then we'll go into when it kicks off and then the final conclusion. So it'll be about a 3 or 4 part video series on Vimy Ridge instead of all the information at once, because then you've got an hour-long video that, you know, is going to get dry at points.
Yeah.
Yabba dabba do.
And it sounds like it will be interesting. At least that way you can break it up. People can watch for, because I think, you know, watching an hour-long thing may get a little dry.
Yeah, that's why we're going to keep it to 10 minutes.
Watching a
should
10
just
to 15 minute segment, though, would be, you know, more reasonable. People would be more likely to watch the whole thing.
You know,
and then,
we should just get all the major Trek channels together. Bird of Prey 5, Anti-Trekker, Jesse Gender, Lore Runner, Trek Yard. Just get them all together.
for
That's a good question. What
Yes.
what for?
One live stream.
Probably happen from time to time. I know Bird of Prey, Anti-Trekker, and Trek Yards have been on the same. Have been on the same. Well, Captain Foley
Yeah.
have been on the same stream.
I don't know what Calkins does when he's not around.
It would be interesting to have some of the other channels do a. The problem is then you have one individual who tends to take the lead, and you have at least one who doesn't say as much, and it really needs to be a more structured environment, almost having an outsider from the group as a moderator to make sure that everybody has a fair chance and everybody actually gets to talk.
Just letting you know, I don't really think of myself as Fandom Menace. I'm more like post Fandom Menace.
Well, see, I
don't like Discovery, but I like Lower Decks. And Picard was okay.
see, I make that comment about Picard, but I didn't think it was horrible.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying it was.
But
Why?
I didn't think it was good either. But and I know Canuck liked it. I know a couple others who liked it. I'm not saying anything against them. It just wasn't my Trek. But in all honesty, it felt more Trek than Lower Decks. And I was on a live stream the other day where somebody was, I think it was Live with Matthew, and somebody was talking about how Discovery was the most Trek, and it's like, I'm sitting here going, oh, what? Huh? How? And I was left going, okay, how old is this idiot? And I shouldn't say idiot, but I do, because to call Discovery the most Trek just rubs me the wrong way.
The
And I
thing
mean
with
it in the
that,
nicest way.
yeah, the thing with that is what we have to remember is one, where did they come into Trek?
Yeah.
And the other thing too is like the age group is going to matter on that as well.
True.
Because I mean, if you try to get my 16-year-old to watch the original series, that's probably not going to happen.
No.
I have to admit, I'm not very optimistic about Star Trek Prodigy.
I can't say I'm enthusiastic about it or any others at this point, but
I'm worried that's going to be too much like Jimmy Neutron. And don't get me wrong, I love Jimmy Neutron as a kid.
Yeah.
I just don't think Jimmy Neutron I just don't think Jimmy Neutron should share a universe with Star Trek.
Okay, but what I don't understand is how do you
what gives you that impression?
Yeah, what gives you that impression it's going to be Jimmy
Neutron.
Johnny Neutron?
Well, I mean, they said it was going to be CGI, and also it's on Nickelodeon. It's a sci-fi comedy. So.
Okay, so we're looking at the other kids show, the actual kids show.
I'm not saying it will be Jimmy Neutron.
No,
I'm not saying it will be like Jimmy Neutron. I'm just worried that might be the direction they'll take it in.
Well, to be honest,
it could surprise me. I'm not very optimistic about it, but maybe it'll surprise me. But let's just wait and see.
I'm hoping. Yes, I'm hoping it will be better.
Maybe it'll be smart like Gravity Falls or Steven Universe at least, or Adventure Time or regular show.
And well, let me ask this, Canuck. You said that your son wouldn't watch TOS most likely.
Probably not.
Okay, what about DS9? Forget TNG.
You'd really have to push him through that series till you get to the war,
Right.
right? Because you got to realize, I mean, he's 16. Yeah. No, even TNG. He's
No, forget
no.
TNG. I wouldn't even.
Voyager, no.
No.
He might like Picard.
I'm sure. What about? Okay, we skipped Enterprise. What about that?
No.
I doubt it. But
That
yeah.
first season is way too dry. Way too dry. And I can say that now.
Yes, you
Jesus
can.
Christ.
Yeah, it's like eating a chicken that's been sitting in the oven for a day or two.
Yeah, it's a little slow. It's a little slow.
You know, I've been wondering for a while, from an in-universe perspective. I know it's because like TOS was made in the '60s, but I always thought it was funny, like how TOS had a '60s style. The first movie had an '80s style, had a '70s style. You know, then the second to fourth movie had more of an early '80s style, while TNG in the next two films had a more, late '80s to early '90s style. Like, from an in-universe perspective, is that implying that this was all during 100-year nostalgia craze for the 20th century fashion and shit?
Well, that's a good question, because I do, obviously it was influenced by current trends and what's available. But I'm looking at the chat, and I'm sorry I'm not keeping up with it, but that Nigel movie guy, which thank you for coming, brings up a good point. Who does like Discovery and who does like Picard? Because again, I think that's going to give some perspective on who, on partially I think on age and on taste. I don't
It
wanna be insulting.
also, I think, when it came to Picard, Picard came after Discovery syndrome.
Yeah, agree.
So there was a little bit of that. And
I'm pretty sure like 50 years from now, people will be complaining about how Picard looks too much like the 2010s in the same way TOS looked too much like the 60s.
Yeah, because there were,
who knows what weird fashion trends we'll have in 50 years.
Well, I mean, there were several episodes of TOS where you had like the hippies.
Or what about
Okay.
McCoy? Or like Beehive? Or why is McCoy wearing a disco suit in the first movie? Or why does Deanna Troi have her all hair like that?
Well, that's true.
Like,
of course,
why
that
does she
was
look like
that
in
was
the first
wigs.
couple seasons?
Oh yeah.
Well, the
I mean,
more
but like,
important
the
question
first
is, why is
couple
there a
seasons were
Deanna
filmed in the
Troi?
80s, so.
That's absolutely true. Why was there Deanna Troi? And wait a minute. Let me repeat that name, please.
Deanna
Which-
Troi?
Yeah,
Why?
I just want to hear Rambling Canuck say it.
Diana Troy.
That's it. He said it wrong again. Thank you.
No, I said it correct. You American infidels said it wrong.
No.
Let me tell you this. So,
Deanna.
Deanna.
but when you think about it,
Like
in
Louisiana?
universe, was there this sudden nostalgia craze for the 20th century fashion that somehow lasted 100 years? That's why, like, we have space hippies and Janice Rand with a beehive, or why we have Dr. McCoy wearing a disco suit, or why Deanna Troi is wearing 80s style hair.
It was a bad choice. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What were those? What was that? Skort? Is that what it was called?
Oh yeah, that atrocity. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
nothing
uniform.
Nothing like watching a man walking around in his skirt. Yeah. And I'm not talking like a kilt. I'm talking an actual skirt.
It was his best Sunday dress.
Yeah,
just-
probably was.
They just got the there was a language barrier. Somebody said you have to
Ron
go
Berry.
in your Sunday dress, and they thought it was literal, not a suit and tie. You know, these things happen. It's
Yeah.
just the
All the
language
was-
barrier. That's all.
I will
Wear
say
your
to the
Sunday
chat, we
best.
are not necessarily going to talk about Star Trek the whole time. I actually started this live stream because I had promised Aberjam UK that I would have a live stream, and this is before I made any announcement about my channel before. I'm going to, at this point, open the floor up to any topic. I will say at this point, my content is 0. So I will not be having any live streams. I will not be having any other content at this point. I'm going to be working with a couple of people trying to get something together, so my channel is actually have something on it. But until then, I will have an occasional live stream now and then.
Very cool.
And hello, MacGyver.
Sabak and Tarek.
So, other than Star Trek, let me ask this: what type of shows do you like? Either one of you, since there's only 2 on the panel.
Rick and Morty.
And I'm guessing that Canuck, that you're not exactly a Rick and Morty fan.
No, but my son is.
Oh, Rick. Oh, Morty. Rick. It's me, Rick. I don't know, Rick. What are we going to do? I
So,
just realized that Mariner and Boimer are basically Rick and Morty.
oh god,
Yeah, it's kind of lazy.
Canuck, would
Yeah.
you concur?
From what I've seen of the shows,
Yes.
yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Well, that's
The only thing I would say is Rick and Morty went full dumb, and Lower Decks only went halfway. How's that?
oh, you haven't seen the latest episode though.
Yeah, I know. I'm just going on what I've seen.
Trust me, the dumb factor gets turned up.
Oh, lovely.
Mhm.
I actually think Mariner was in some ways a better version of Burnham.
She is kind of more Burnham than except she's not perfect. That's the only problem. She's a not perfect Michael Burnham.
I mean, at least it's better than having her like be perfect all the time. Like, I mean, that was kind of my big complaint with Burnham, is that she was kind of a Mary Sue.
Let's see here.
Can I
Oh,
ask a
well-
question?
You can ask anything you want. You know.
Why is the word "kind of" in that sentence?
Let's see here.
Can we talk about Sabak and Tarek? We don't have to.
Hey, what's going on? I'm glad you stopped by to say hi. So what is going on with you? And let's see here, Tiki Doom. I don't think I like anything from the past 5 to 10 years in entertainment. Well, honestly,
Okay.
I don't either.
Well, there's been a couple of good things, but I mean, like,
I mean, for the most part. In
Yeah,
general.
I mean-
SpongeBob?
Oh Lord. Shoot him.
Star
I've
Wars is
won.
overrated, man.
I've watched that way more than I ever want to admit. But then
I
again, I have 4 kids, so
well,
there's
keep in
that.
mind, I have 3 great nephews who watched that show or did. And yeah, I have to admit, I've seen more than I wanted to ever in my life.
Raise your hand if you think Star Wars is overrated.
Current or past?
All of it.
No.
No.
No. Current, absolutely.
I'm just saying. Well, I mean, it was always overrated. Like even before the sequels and the prequels came out.
See, the original had a lot going for it because they were creating the technology that we now see, and they had to make do. They had to cut corners, do everything it could. Literally the scroll that we see on the screen came from a parking lot. They didn't have the technology today where they could easily just type stuff in and it will scroll the way they want it. This was literally hand done, camera, I don't know how far off the ground, and doing the scroll. And so yeah, there was an art to it, whereas even the prequels, they'd already perfected a lot of it. They've gotten into the CGI. Wasn't as artistic in that means. And
just be glad Jar Jar Binks is not a Star Trek character.
Yes, he is. He's called Wesley Crusher.
Oh,
I'd say Neelix. I know the closest thing Star Trek has ever had to Jar Jar would probably be Neelix, but at least Neelix wasn't that annoying.
You know what? Yeah, I can actually see that.
Yeah, Neelix. Yeah, Neelix crossed with Wesley Crusher.
Exactly.
There we go.
Neelix.
Weird hybrid.
Yes.
We get Jar Jar. Oh, Jesus.
That would, that's a scary thought. Anyhow, I'm assuming that somebody in the chat would like to talk about something. If anybody wants to come up, please, you are more than welcome to.
Please come up and challenge me.
Or we can just kick him out. But,
Oh, Cap.
Hey, people think I'm nice. I don't want them to think that.
Geez, you must have a better publicist than I thought.
I know.
A sweet odor like honey. Remember that episode where it's like they go on a planet, but it's like a weird post-apocalyptic version of Earth, and it's like Lord of the Flies.
Wait a minute.
The kids and the adults are all mutated monsters.
I have a question about this. Rambling, could you comment on that one? If they made the
I was trying to remember that episode that particular people. I can't.
I can't either.
For the life of me, I can't. I can't get the character in my head. Yeah.
Well, see, unfortunately, MacGyver, I have to agree, but unfortunately, the Phantom Menace has almost become a cancel culture. And I understand where it comes from. I really do. But a lot of the Phantom Menace, and I have identified as Phantom Menace by choice, tend to only focus on the negative, because honestly, it gets more clicks. I'll be blunt. It gets more clicks than focusing on the positive.
I'm gonna think about starting a group called the Post Phantom Menace.
Well, once things start to settle down, and I think once the cancel culture is kind of quieted down. I think we will see the Phantom Menace diminish. I hope. I mean, not that I don't mean that in a bad way, because I do like people that identify as Phantom Menace, but I don't watch a lot of his videos because I don't like all of the negativity. So
Post.
that's why I'm hoping for post Phantom Menace in the next few years.
Imagine if Captain Foley, Commander Cockings, Anti-Trekker, Jesse Gender, let's see, who else? Laura Runner, and Bird of Prey 5. Imagine if they were the writing staff of all the Star Trek shows.
Then you'd have Rick and Morty crossed with DS9 and Next Generation. And throw in some original series. And yeah, that'd be an interesting mix. I don't know what kind of characters you'd have. I know you have cool ships. I'll give you that. There'd be some damn cool ships coming out of that. You wouldn't have the, whatever the hell that thing is, the Cheerio or whatever the hell it is.
Cerritos.
Okay, thank
I
you.
actually like the Cerritos design, by the way.
Oh, I absolutely hate it. I absolutely utterly hate it because
Well, it's not supposed to be the Enterprise. It's not, it's
There
supposed
is
to be
no-
more like the Stargazer or the Reliant or the Equinox.
agreed. However, the secondary hull is kind of supposed to be connected to the primary hull.
What about
So
the
the-
Grissom? Right, that's another good comparison.
Yeah, but the Grissom. Wait a minute.
I like to think the Oberth class was designed by Vulcans.
I can't think of the Oberth class, but you're not the first person I've heard say that. Actually,
Oh, who told you that?
I don't remember because it was on another live stream, but it wasn't you who was talking. It was somebody else. In fact, it wasn't even one of the. Wasn't like it was Bird's channel because then I would know it was you. But no, I don't remember. And somebody made a comment about that, but I can't remember for the life of me. So anyhow, moving on to other topics. So, what about you, Kate? Do you have any? Do you have a channel right now?
What channel are you talking about? Like my channel or
Yes.
my YouTube channel?
Yes, your YouTube channel.
Well, I just made a few comedy sketches.
Let's see here. Let me.
I
go
forgot
back
to pay your
chat.
rent.
Go ahead and
I
let's
might
see
do
here.
more Star Trek related content.
That would be cool. Let me see if I can find you. If you would be so kind as to put something in the chat, please, Cade. And Darth Revan, what is going on? I didn't see you in the what I saw before. Oh, you do since the
I have a video. Have you seen my Angry Landlord video?
I don't think so. I'm gonna have to. So I gotta. Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to ask everybody in the chat: do you have a channel? If you do, press 1. If you don't, put a 0. And somebody is backstage. I'll have to take a look.
Put them on the.
Got it.
Hey, I have no idea what happened with my camera. I'm gonna have to come
You
back.
forgot to pay your rent.
I don't know.
That
I don't
is
know.
so weird. That's
It's
true.
just randomness.
Whatever. I'll just go off cam. That's
Okay.
cool.
So
Yeah,
what's going on?
What's going on? Nothing much, really. Just chilling out and chilling out at home. So yeah,
Oh, that sounds like fun.
yeah, it's okay. I've been. I had to leave work,
Fred.
so yeah. So I've been home most of the day.
I don't know why I said that.
Hmm.
Hello?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why is my voice repeating on there?
Oh,
Because I believe someone has YouTube on.
yeah, that would be
Is it maybe? I don't know.
yeah. Because it sounds like you have.
Have I told you about the story of Sebek and Tarek?
Is it better now?
Yes, much better.
Have I told you the story of Sebek and Tarek?
I do not believe so.
I don't. Which Star Trek was he in?
They're characters I created.
Ah, okay. No, I
Don't you
didn't know that.
remember? Don't you remember them? Captain Trek?
Oh, well, right now I'm in the I know, like I said, I know you've told me about it, but I cannot think for the life of me right now. I need more coffee. Can you believe I've only had 2 cups of coffee all day?
Okay, so Sebek's like a male Vulcan and Tarek's like a female Romulan.
Ah, okay.
Sebek is 27 years old and Tarek is 33. Sebek is like 5'9" and Tarek's like 6'1".
Mm-hmm.
That's
What?
well, it sounds interesting so far.
What? I made the guy a little shorter than the girl.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
I
They
mean,
just-
you see it, in normal life too. It's
Oh yeah,
it's kind of rare, but it does exist. So
And just let you know, Sebek is a Vulcan, Tarek is a Romulan.
mm-hmm.
oh, that's interesting.
And they have a pet sailor named Frank.
Okay, now that is an interesting name. Don't know
Frank.
how
okay.
Vulcan that would sound.
Yeah,
That would be
Frank.
be interesting story. That would have to.
I made
Explain.
Anti-Trekker named him Frank.
Ah,
Uh-huh.
Like I told him,
okay.
like I said to Anti-Trekker, yes, Sebek and Tarek have a pet sailor. And he said, let's name it. And he was like, yeah, name it Frank.
A bit of uninspired name, but I guess it works.
Maybe they had a friend named Frank who died.
Oh, okay, yeah.
See, that
So
would
it has-
that would come up with a backstory for that one because that's not exactly a Vulcan name.
Maybe Tarek named it.
maybe some kind of I don't know, some kind of connection to Earth or something. I don't know.
So what kind of relation do you think they have?
Yeah. I have no idea.
Well, if we're sticking to Star Trek, Romulan, Vulcan, they would hate each other.
True.
Well,
They're
not
married.
necessarily. I mean,
They're
we
actually
have
married.
seen we have seen, Romulans and Klingons married. So
Yeah.
Well, unless you're talking about the Romulan underground that
Right.
want to reunite with Vulcan, but
Interestingly, Turak's not actually part of the Romulan underground.
okay, well then they're sworn enemies of Vulcan.
No, Sebek still likes Vulcan.
Mhm.
that is an interesting take. Actually, I don't think we've ever had a chance to talk. Would you say your name, please? Because I know I'm going to say it wrong.
Cade MacArthur.
Not you, Kate. I'm sorry. Yes. Is that Gitter? I'm not sure.
People know me as Gitter, but it actually is Guider. So, but
Guider.
people know me as Gitter. So yeah,
Okay.
it's actually Guider. Yeah.
Well, see, that's
It's
I've
been
never heard that
Japanese.
before. So.
Yeah, no, I made it up. It's a combination of a combined with a guitar, so you get the Guider.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Oranges and lemons.
Exactly. It's from one of my upcoming projects that I'm working on. So
How about,
yeah.
have you read George Orwell's 1984?
No, but I know about it. And what I know about it, it makes me know that I wouldn't like it, if I put it that way. I have, I don't read a lot of, dark stuff. I just have a little hard time with it. So,
Why is that? If I might ask.
yeah, sure. I mean, it's like with me with movies and stuff. I can't just see dark stuff because it eats on my brain. It's like it doesn't leave. I can't put it in a box and then just that was one.
Does
It
anyone
takes a lot.
remember Fred? The kid like with the high pitched voice.
Oh yes.
I made a couple Fred parodies, but I gave him a low pitched voice.
Uh-huh.
That's interesting.
So yeah, please watch them. Please watch them, man.
Okay.
Actually, what I think would be a better choice would be a girl like Fred, but with a low voice.
That might be funny.
Yeah. I mean, there is a kind of a female. I think. Can't you be like Freddy or that? Isn't it able to do that sort of thing? I don't know. I might be out of my league there, but I think it might be possible.
I don't want to hear the background. Yeah, what he said.
Okay.
And hey, DJ, what's going on? Yeah, that is Guider.
Yeah. That's right.
Forever, ever. It's not echoing.
Now, that renegade was actually funny.
Sorry, what?
What's going on, Deej?
Oh yeah, the comments. Oh, of course.
Rainbow Unicorn 2020. Yeah. Thank you, Mel.
Sounds like some creepy pasta.
Oh, It's fine.
No, all of a sudden I just
Fred?
You said something about creepypasta.
Creepypasta. Have you? I want you to read one called "The Other Internet."
On the creepypasta?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's pretty good.
Okay.
Don't
It's
worry,
more
there's
like-
no blood and gore in this one.
Yeah, okay. So it's like,
I'm-
yeah, it's like a horror thing, right? Pasta.
so no, I'm glad that people have joined. Unfortunately, Geiger, I'm going to have to put you back because you either need headphones or something.
It's the background and everything.
Yeah, everything's repeated.
It's cool. It's totally cool. You have a great one, and thanks for.
Thank
bringing
you.
me-
I'm glad you were able to join.
Yeah, sure.
See you later.
Sure,
Later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Australia.
What is going on this afternoon? Anything?
It's be your boyfriend.
Hey, Deej. Let's see here.
Anyone else want to join?
Oops, I accidentally did that. There we go. Anyone else who wants to join, you are more than welcome to.
And argue with me.
Well, while that might be fun, I can say this much. At least I've learned the correct pronunciation for Geider. So
Want to go to
now I can.
Oranges and lemons, said the bells of St. Clemens. When will you pay me, said the bells of Old Bailey. Here comes a candle to light you to bed. Here comes a chopper to chop off your head.
Cool. Deej is in the back. Let's see here. Hey, Deej, what's going on?
Background noise.
Hello.
Hey, Deej.
Remember the Czechoslovakian Tom and Jerry cartoons?
Actually, no.
Look them up. As you can tell by my profile picture, I really love Ed, and Eddie.
I wouldn't have done that.
No, but profile. No, this is like just the stream picture I
Right.
used.
No, I hadn't noticed that before. So.
This plank from Ed, and Eddie.
Okay.
In fact, on a forum, I used like a picture of Ed, like in a Space Outlaw episode. The one where they think they're on a space adventure, but they're really just in the junkyard. Have you seen that one?
No, I haven't.
I think they even used a Star Trek line, "Full speed ahead."
I wouldn't be surprised.
Like basically, Ed sees the poster for this new movie coming out called "The Space Outlaws" or something like that, right? Like, or the Robot Planet. And they're like, "Yay!" But then he notices, it's rated R. Their parents won't let him into the theater. And they get done with. He's like, "Don't worry, Ed. We'll see it on when it airs on TV." And Ed was like, "Yeah, with the good stuff cut out." Right? And then they talk about maybe how they could sneak into the movie theater. But then they end up driving to the junkyard, and they literally convinced that somehow they've deluded themselves into thinking that they actually are space outlaws on an alien planet.
That's an interesting premise. So, Deej, what's going on today? Anything?
I'm just chilling till tonight's stream.
And what exactly is tonight's stream for anybody who doesn't know?
Steven Spielberg's 1941.
1941. And
Have
I'm
you got
guessing
your panel
Hello?
assembled?
No, I just whoever shows up that knows the movie, I throw them up.
Oh, nice. So
there
what
was-
is the what's the premise of that movie, Deej? 'Cause I haven't seen it, so.
It's the West Coast, LA, California, shortly after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, and how they think they're going to get invaded.
Oh, okay.
But there's only one Japanese submarine out patrolling, and it's looking for Hollywood to torpedo it.
Well, that would be an interesting feat for a submarine. Is it a midget sub or is it just
Oh, no, it's
an
a regular
actual full
sub.
size? Full size.
We
Full-size
all
sub
live in a
with-
yellow submarine. Yellow submarine. Yellow submarine.
And Christopher Lee plays a German that's on board the Japanese sub to help him
Hello?
learn how to do things, and it's a comedy.
Speak up.
Yeah, I guess that. Yeah, that sounds interesting. Huh.
And you can watch that on Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime. I
Yellow
know you
Submarine.
can-
Crackle.
you
Are we
can-
talking about Yellow Submarine?
No,
Oh, we're not. No.
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 Oh.
you can also watch it on YouTube, but it's like this guy that recorded it, so it's like in a smaller square, and
Oh, okay.
it's kind
Yeah.
of boring, but you can see part
Well,
of
it's
it.
my Ringo Starr. Go sing about Yellow
Kind of
Submarine.
like watching a video with Bird of Prey. But
What time is the stream tonight, Deej?
8 p.m. Central, because Central Time is the most important time because everything else revolves around us.
Yeah, I might
Yeah,
not
I
be
agree.
around. I might not be
Agreed.
around tonight.
Well, that's unfortunate, Kate. What's going on tonight?
I want to eat chicken.
Well, that sounds like a good plan. We're gonna eat chicken out.
At my house.
Ah. Well, let's see here. Let's see here now.
Can you do a Colonel Sanders voice?
And apparently it's playing a lot of places online, so that's a good sign where you can actually watch it beforehand.
What movie is Bird of Prey watching?
Wait, 1941. Of course, it's not on Prime. It's got to pay for rental. Yeah, great.
What movie is Bird of Prey watching?
What is next Saturday? I don't remember.
I have no idea what Bird's doing next.
Let's see here. Let's see if it works or not.
When will you? I have a theory that Mad Max and 1984 take place at the same time. It's just Britain that's a totalitarian state, and it's just Australia that descended into anarchy. Rest of the world's doing just okay.
Let's see here now.
What do you think of my theory?
It's quite interesting. Actually, I just found 1941. It's on Pluto TV with ads.
Yep.
Pluto, the planet. It's a planet, whether you like it or not. Don't tell me otherwise.
Okay, Cap. I got some
I
stuff to
know.
do. I'll talk to you later.
I will talk to you later, and I am going to go ahead and end this stream. I appreciate everybody for
Say
coming.
That's a good idea. Oh,
And Deej, I need to talk to you later, so just hit me
Ha
up
ha
sometime.
ha! I'm the center now.
And everybody have a great day.